I see the glory of the Lord. Every time the sun rises, I hear the unheard screams of a broken heart. Because every day a son dies, 27 million slaves but no plantation. 27 million.
So we are here at We International helping to finish little elephants from Uganda. So people in Uganda made them and then we stuffed them and now we're sewing the middle of them shut. And all the money raised from selling these guys goes back to help women and kids in Uganda.
Those rivers of justice, so I use my voice for those who can't speak out. Use my voice for those who can't speak. Yeah, when it's all said and done, yeah, I pray that everything we said is done. I don't want my son to say I was one of the ones that watched 27 million and never said, no, I won't be that. I don't deserve a mic if I ain't got no feedback. Bring back every girl from the west to the east that he craft for his glory, not for making a greenback. That every ounce of brokenness and disease that bring that to the cross, believe that he redeems that, sees that type of world that my daughters can breathe that, where the beautiful feet that go where the needs that we need.
Alright, so my name is Paul and I work with YWAM Madison, which stands for Youth with a Mission. We're an international missions organization with over 25,000 full-time staff in 180 countries. And what we do is we go and help the poorest of the poor. We send young people all over the world, young people ages 13 to 25, and some go for a couple weeks, others go for months at a time, and others give their lifetimes to it. We go and help trafficking victims, children at risk, street kids, orphans. We become house moms and dads. We throw giant parties for kids. We go into the brothels and do ministry with the women themselves and spend hours doing friendship ministry and caring for them and taking care of their needs. So there's a wide variety of things that we do.
So the way that ACT started was from interest of students like you guys, and it was really cool. I invited a friend of mine, David Lippiett, to come to chapel, and after he spoke about human trafficking and We International, a group of students came up afterwards and they said, Mrs. G, we want to do more. And so that's what birthed ACT, is the interest and the passion of students, and it's continued to be like that. And so we meet once a month at one of our houses or another home, and we always start out with a meal and just catching up. How was your week? How are you guys doing? And we try to do meals that are from different ethnic backgrounds. So we've done Indian food, we've done Mexican, of course, Thai, Asian, Chinese. Yeah. So much fun. So the food is a highlight. You guys should come check it out. And then what we do after that is we have a guest speaker come. So we are either having someone come that is a missionary and they work directly with these people, or with a group that sells things and they have awesome things that they sell that all the benefits go back to people who are impacted by human trafficking. We've had Madison detectives come. We've had people from Every Daughter come, which runs a group here in Madison. Slave Free Madison has come. So there's all these different viewpoints that you get exposed to, which is really fun. And then we also have documentaries that we show sometimes. And then at the end, we take time to bring it back to God, because this is such a huge issue that really, if you think about it, it's overwhelming. But we want to take it back to God, pray, and worship Him because of all the awesome work that He's doing on behalf of the hurting that we see and encounter.
Worship, I think, is vital for Christians because it puts God back in His rightful place. And I think really often when we deal with injustice issues like human trafficking, it's very easy to put that in first place and just get either so angry or so upset about everything that it's easy to lose perspective. And when we turn our eyes back to God, He can give us His perspective, His comfort that He's still in control, His wisdom for knowing what to do next. And I remember several times in prayer and in worship really feeling God's presence with us, to the extent where it was like this very moment of us praying about the issue was what was on His heart for the planet at the moment. And when you get to connect with someone bigger than you, that really helps. And God is the source of all of our power and all of our wisdom and all of the love that we need to go out and do anything else.
I have a name, I have my hopes and dreams. Try and I try to hold on, but it's hard to believe anyone knows.
Curtis is the leader of the worship because he's got so much experience with that he brings his guitar and he's just able to flow with the Spirit and what's going on with God in that moment. So I really appreciate his partnership in that way.
Don't walk away, don't walk away, don't walk away.
It's super important that Kitty is leading the group for a couple of reasons. One, it's something that God put on her heart before ACT even began. And I think it's crucial that we invest in the things God has planted in our hearts. He won't mature those things in our hearts. He puts those whispers and hints in our hearts, and it's up to us to say yes to what's on God's heart and to mature it and to grow it with Him. And I want to honor that in Katie because that's what she's done. It was a whisper in her heart, and she followed it in DTS, and she started following it at chapels. And it's growing, and it's maturing, and it's bearing fruit. And when I see that happening, I'm like, yeah, I want to be behind somebody else's passion, and I want to help that. But it's also a very particular issue that is hugely oppressive towards women. And I love the fact that you as a woman of God is rising up to say, hey, this doesn't have to be a man solving this problem or addressing these issues. You're going to rise up and speak to identity and speak to the power that we have as sons and daughters of God to challenge the principalities of this world. And so I think that's another really important issue. And thirdly, we get a lot of women that are interested in this topic. And so maybe that's a combination of because you're leading it. But I think it's really important to have both genders involved. But because we have so many women involved right now, I think it's really great because you can help interface with that better.
Absolutely. And so that brings up another point is that we are really wanting this to be more than just girls in the group, but we're inviting the guys of our high school to step up and join as well. So if you have ever been interested in this topic and want to learn more, just give it a try. Come and join us. I think one thing that people might think is a drawback is how do you talk about the same thing every month? But there's so many aspects of what God says about justice in His Word and how we can reach out and help other people, but we're learning about different countries that it happens in, different ways that it happens, and then different characters of God and how He can speak truths into our lives so we can then impact people around us. So it's not just one topic. It doesn't look the same every week. It's very, very morphing and growing as we go. So give it a shot. We'd love to have you join us.
Just another